Hi, friends. Welcome to this Christmas Eve edition of Advent for Everyone. I first of all want to say thank you to you for journeying with me through these days of Advent. It has indeed been enjoyable to read through this book with you and also to have conversations, whether directly or indirectly with you, about this work. I think it's really a wonderful time of year for us to be able to slow down and focus. I hope this gives us some guidance as a church for how we might live in the future during seasons like Advent and Lent, and maybe just a different mode of operation, making these videos and stuff. If it's been helpful to you, please mention it to me. If it's been difficult or challenging or not helpful, also please let me know. But I've really enjoyed the daily opportunity to connect with you and to do it in maybe just a different way than I've done with you at this church. This passage today is one of those passages from Jesus that is easy to understand for the most part, except for maybe this eye is the lamp of the body business, but one of those that's kind of difficult to do. Jesus, in this final section that we're reading today, asks us that question that is one of our measures as a church, and that's the measure that we put as trusting, a disciple's trusting, and we ask that question, where does God rank? We might also say that's a question of priority. Where does God rank? And Wright makes the distinction in this text, saying that actually everything we're asking, everything that Jesus talks about in this text is actually about priority. So first of all, this idea about when you fast or when you give up treasure on earth, all of these things, or when you live with treasure on earth as if it's highest priority, he's saying instead make your treasure like that in heaven. And once again, he's saying that's not about heaven and eternal destination stuff. He's actually saying that reward can be the reward of living free from the burdens of things like money. Basically, what he says over and over is that these things like money, like other priorities, like what we see with our eyes, they start to take hold of us. It's very much like what we talked about over the fall when we talked about you are what you love. Those things take hold of us, and instead our first priority cannot be on serving God and God's kingdom. Specifically when he talks about money, I think it's important. It says, but what Jesus is saying is that money gives orders. It bosses you around. If you have your priorities right, there's only one boss, and that is God himself. And Wright closes, sort your priorities out. Work out what you truly value, what you truly love. Just as the wise men brought gifts to the manger, I invite you in this time to consider what are your priorities in the coming year. Maybe to not think about resolutions in the coming year, in the next week, as we start to think about those things when the new year comes around, but instead to think about where your priorities will be in the coming year. Maybe that'll be something you don't feel like you're failing within the end of January, but instead something where you can look back to time and time again and ask yourself that question that we ask within our measures of where does God rank? Where is your trust right now? God bless you on your Christmas, and I do hope to see you this evening at 5. God bless you. Bye.